Hello. So let us see what we have covered so far in Module 5. We actually started with the optical network evolution concepts along with the terminology. There we have defined the meaning of nodes and optical links, and we have interested more functionalities with the nodes. Then we gone for attending optical network nodes and switching elements. We came across WDM networks, PSTN network overview we have gone through. Then we discussed OTN in detail along with ATM and OSR reference model. Later in the last session, we discussed about wavelength routing network architectures along with the RWA concept. So today we are going to look into the another technology which is concerned with the deployment of the IP networks. So if you go to the this one, so here are there. So there are various ways are there for the implementation schemes of the IP over DWDM. In that we completed this wavelength routing networks and its different architectures. Today we'll see another way of implementation of IP over DWDM, that is optical switching networks. So under optical switching networks, we came across broadly they are classified into two types. One is circuit switching based. Another one is packet switching based. But if you go to the deeperly, so we'll get another two subtypes here. That is a multi-protocol label switching (MPLS), or it is another one here we are getting, that is a generalized one, that is also known as GMPLS, generalized multi-protocol label switching, that is coming under this one. That also we can discuss. And at the end, we are going to conclude today's session with optical burst switching networks. So basically, an optical switch is a dynamic element. Switch is a dynamic element, or we already discussed that each node is acting like a switch. It may function like a switch, it may function like a multiplexer, it may function like a router, anything. So here, if you think of this one particular node in this optical switching network as a switch, it is acting like a dynamic element which can switch data between different ports of a network and allowing the signal to switch from one to state to the another. How? If you combine such nodes which are acting like switches in groups, means a large group or array of optical switches, one switch can switch one signal at a time. It can change the state of the incoming signal state to another different output state, one signal at a time, one switch, one signal. If you want to deal with multiple signals, you need to have multiple such nodes or switches. Okay. So therefore, we'll go for using an array of optical switches that switch from one port to another, forming a circuit switching fabric. Here, for example, we can look into this optical circuit switching consisting of 6 nodes A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, and this B node is using cross connectors. That is a 2 by 2 port switching node which is cross connecting between incoming second port with the outgoing third port. Whereas the node D is acting like a switch providing the direct connection between the ports 1 and 3. So one node is going to use OXC providing the cross connection between the IO ports, and another node D is providing the direct connection between the ports. So in this way, these nodes are with the multiple functions, allowing incorporation of switching connections or light paths. The dashed line, thick line, it will indicate the physical connection, a physical path. The dotted line, it will indicate the light path or virtual path, which is got established like a logical connection with the help of these nodes, which are acting like the switches like this. The node B is acting like a cross connecting switch, and the node D is acting like a direct switch. So this is the figure which is indicating an optical circuit switched network consisting of 6 nodes, and it is explaining that how the incoming single wavelength lambda 1 uh, got established between the node A and F. How it is traveling? It is required travel from A, B, D, and F. So means in between A and F, you got 2 nodes. So 2 hopes will be there. So in that, the node B is acting like a optical cross connector OXC, providing the cross connection between the IO ports 2 and 3. This is going to give you the logical connection or the light path established with help of node B, which is acting like a OXC from A to D. The logical path between D to F is provided by the node D. Between B to F is provided by node D. Sorry. So node D, how it is acting? It is acting like a direct connecting switch. So when it will establish the direct connection, then virtual path will be established between the nodes B and F. In this way, the light path coming with the wavelength lambda 1 at node A exit from node F with the help of these 2 hopes or nodes. How these nodes are acting, that you have to tell, that is important. The thing is that, so this whatever the path you are observing, not the thick line it will indicate this path has already got established. Okay, that is the main concept of circuit switching. So before the call occurs between A and F, okay, before you are going to transmit this lambda 1 from A to F, the physical connection has to be established between A to F through B and D. That is indicated by the thick line, you can see here. Later, with the help of nodes B and D, the light path is established between A and F. Okay. Once this lambda 1 exit from F, then whatever the thick line is there, no, physical path which was established will be removed. Means connection is established before you are going to transmit lambda 1 between A to F. Once it will be transmitted, if it is over, transmission is over, then this connection will be removed. That is optical circuit switching network. Okay, so this is how it is going to be. So next comes packet switched networks. So these are also known as optical packet switched networks, or OPS. OPS means optical packet switched networks. Here the data is transported completely in the optical domain. So this is very important. Without any intermediate optoelectrical conversions. So no any intermediate nodes are going to serve like a converters which are converting between optical to electrical or electrical to optical conversions. So it means that the total data is transmitted without any conversions. That is in the optical domain only. So the basic functions, 4 basic functions are there, like the routing, which provides the connectivity for the information uh, through the already allocated routing paths, which are referred by looking into the routing tables. Then second important function is forwarding, that defines the output for each incoming packet depending on the routing table. The third one is a switching, that directs each packet to the correct output defined by the forwarding process. And the last one is a buffering, the storage which provides the data storage for the packets to resolve any contention problems which may occur in the future during packet transmission. These are the four basic functions of this OPS: routing, that is RFSB, routing, forwarding, switching, and buffering. The format for this packet switch networks will be like this. It consists of a header or a label which contains the information uh, containing the address of the destination where it is about to reach. Separated by the guard band, then we will be having the data or the payload, the where our information we want to transmit. Then this guard band is mainly used to avoid the overlapping. So this OPS is also known as a label switching because so when you're going to transmit with this kind of structure, packet structure, at the receiver side, the received labels, whatever the because these are labeled or header will be there. So these received labels are recognized by searching into the lookup table at the receiver side, and accordingly the data will be sequentially rearranged. For example, that's why it needs the functions like assignment, recognition, swapping, forwarding, etc. So therefore this OPS is also known as a label switching because your identification of data what you transmitted is based on uh, the labels. So that's why it is known as a label switching. So how it could be done? It could be done by using optical correlators. Optical correlators are something like nodes only that are there. They are configured to act like optical correlators. Okay. In the previous optical circuit switch networks, the nodes are configured to act like OXCs or direct switching elements. Now in OPS, the nodes are configured to act like optical correlators at the receiver side. I'm telling, because these correlators decides whether the packet is concerned to the particular switch or not. By mapping or by comparing the address which is encoded into the packet, whatever it is receiving, with its switch own address. If it is matching, then the data is extracted or payload is extracted and is processed. Otherwise, the packet is forwarded to next switch. Okay, this how this OPS is going to work. So this is about optical circuit switch and optical packet switch networks. In connection with this, we'll be getting another one, that is a multi-protocol label switching, MPLS and GMPLS. It is an extension, you can say extension of OPS only, as it has four functions: routing, forwarding, that is RFSB. So MPLS also provides an efficient the functions like routing, forwarding, switching, and designation of traffic, which flows through optical packet switch network. It also uses labels to forward traffic across many MPLS domains. The procedure is like this. So whenever a labeled packet arrives at the LSR, LSR means label switching router. Okay, whenever labeled packet arrives at the router. So what is the router name here? As you are dealing with MPLS, it is known as a label switching router. So when this router gets such a labeled packet, the incoming label will decide the path of this packet within the MPLS network. That is important. Then the MPLS label will swap this label to proper outgoing label, and then sending the packet on the next network node or a hop. So here the packets label is designated or denoted only once at the MPLS edge. and the packets are switched based on the or depending on this label information only. So this particular concept will make the MPLS more fast and efficient protocol. This is very important. So this how it will be labeled. That is a concept lying behind the MPLS going to make a fast and efficient protocol. I will take the help of two examples here how this MPLS is going to work out in TDM optical networks, TDM based optical networks, uh, which will be consisting of nodes. Node switches the data. So the nodes will be there in that optical network, which is working based on the TDM concept. So if you are going to use the MPLS there, it is concerned with switching the data from the incoming time slots to the outgoing time slots. Whereas if you are dealing with applying MPLS over WDM networks, then it is concerned with switching the wavelengths. Okay, labels here are concerned with switching the labels. Whereas in normal optical networks, as far as MPLS is concerned, labels are concerned with switching the incoming and outgoing nodes. Whereas in WDM networks, labels are concerned with switching the incoming to the outgoing wavelengths. Similarly, for IP or ATM, some labels or headers are used. For example, MPLS based networks is, for example, VPN is there, that is IP virtual private network deployed over SDH. It provides a secure dedicated WAN for the business purpose, where the different offices around the world will be interconnected without expense of using any private circuits or data networks. That is one example for where you are applying this MPLS, that is IP or ATM. These are the three examples where you can see the usage of this MPLS. If you generalize this MPLS, then it is known as a generalized multi-protocol label switching, where it extends MPLS functionalities, providing extra protocols for the wavelength and physical space domains, means optical fiber switching. It supports transparent trafficking using DWDM and optical cross connectors for the implementation of label switching. So this GMPLS provides signaling protocols for the establishment of label switched paths, which are known as LSPs. The procedure is like this for the signaling protocols, establishment of this LSPs. First, the label will exchange to include non-packet networks, which are actually known as generalized labels. We will separate out the generalized labels. Then establishment of the bidirectional LSPs will take place, and after that the signaling for this established path will be done. Then label assignment via suggested label will be done, and at the end the waveband switching support, that is a group of wavelengths will be switched together. So these are the four steps by which the label switching path will be established with the help of such signaling protocols. So along with this, GMPLS also provides a link management protocol, which actually performs the four functions, like the control of channel management, which is concerned with the establishment of the link parameters. For example, the frequency in sending messages and ensuring the health of a link, means whether the link will be established throughout the call or not. So that is coming under the control of channel management. The second important function of GMPLS is the link connectivity verification. that actually ensures the physical connectivity of the link between the nodes. Then the link property correlation, which actually recognizes the link properties of the nodes. That is another way of a production mechanism. And last one, very important, is the fault isolation, which allows single or multiple faults to be isolated in the optical domain. So this about MPLS and GMPLS, which are we have discussed as an extension of this packet switch networks. So next one comes optical burst switching networks. So it operates at the sub-wavelength level, means it provides a rapid setup and tear down of optical network light paths, much faster than the previous two the technologies, which is going to incorporate both the methods here. So hence it is also known as a hybrid switching and routing technology. And here you can see it uses electronic hardwares to control the routing decisions, but keeps the data in the optical domain as it passes through each optical domain. So till now the hardware is not at all used there for the controlling of routing decisions, but here it is going to use that one. So in OBS, optical burst switching networks, the packets with the common address are actually grouped together. As you can see in this diagram, the packets which will be having the common address are grouped together and are designated to the edge routing nodes. Here you can see the OBS optical burst switching network is there, consisting of 4 edge routers here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And each edge router is assigned with one such group of packets having the common address, which are actually known as a data burst, DB. Each of which is transmitted separately from the data control packet called the burst header cell, BSC, containing the necessary information. Means this DB will consist of so this burst will consist of two segments. One is a DB, that is a data burst, and another one is a burst header cell, BHC. Normally BHC will be allowed to travel earlier than this data burst, and it will be routed through the different edge routers depending on the encoding the header cell and what information it contains. So the operation can be explained in two steps. The OBS edge router at the receiver side, when it receives this BSC, that is a burst header cell, assigns the incoming burst to the available channel on the outgoing link if it is available, which leads to the desired destination and establishes the path between them. It also forwards the BSC, that is a burst header cell, on the control channel. So here you can see the control channel is there on which the DB is coming. After modifying the cell to specify the channel where the burst is being forwarded. So these two steps are repeated for every routing node along with the path to the destination. So it is a cyclic process. This is how the OPS is going to work. So we'll stop today's session. Next session we'll discuss about the deployment of these networks. That is optical network deployment with respect to four different types of networks. That is a long haul networks, metropolitan area network, MAN, AM, that is access networks, and LAN.